Okay, hello, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna make an ear warmer, and for that I'm gonna be needing this little guy right here. This is a knitting machine. Yeah, so the other accessories I'm gonna be using is I'm gonna use a screwdriver. You can totally hand crank it. It would take longer, obviously, but I'm gonna use the screwdriver for time sake. And yeah, so this is my driver, and then I'm gonna be using this adapter that I got on Amazon. It came with 3 adapters, and it said that it's for the 22, 40, and the 48, but what I noticed is that all of them are the same size, so I don't know what was the point of having 3 of them, but anyway. And then this is the 40 pin knitting machine. This one doesn't come with a row counter, so I got my own from Amazon as well. And then it has a little for the magnet right here, and then it had a little magnet that it's inside my machine. I don't know if you can see it right here. Let's see if I can show a little better. Right there, and I just glue it down, and the same with this one. I just have a piece of tape right here, and the same with my with a row counter right here. Okay, and then the yarn that I'm gonna be using is a big twist value in the color orange, and the big twist value in black. And I'm gonna be making a this is cool colors for, and these are the colors for the OSU Oklahoma State University. This is a Christmas gift for a coworker. So yeah, and then besides that, I'm going to use my scissors, of course, a needle, and this is bigger than, you know, your normal regular needle. That's to hide the tails. And then I'm gonna use my crochet hook, and this is a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, so to start, if you are familiar with a knitting machine, the starting point is gonna be this black needle right here. I always use this as my starting point. There's some people that use this as their last, which means instead of starting from this one, they start from the second one. I always start from this one. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on my row counter, and all these extra accessories, I'm gonna be linking them in the bio if you like to go and look them up, or if you're interested in any of them. Okay, I'm also gonna need some waste yarn, and again, if you're not familiar with this, the waste yarn helps to get a cleaner edge, so it's easier to sew the 2 sides together. So that's what I'm gonna start with, the waste yarn, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook it on my first pin. I'm gonna kind of grab it with my fingers like so, and then I'm just gonna let that pin down, and then I'm gonna go back and forth. So now I'm gonna go behind the second one, and then I'm gonna go in front, and then as I'm doing that, I'm gonna be hand cranking it. So front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back, and so on until I get to my first pin. Okay, and then once I get to my first pin, I'm gonna hook it there, grab it with my hand, and then I'm gonna place the yarn on the little passage right here for the yarn, and make sure that your yarn goes there, otherwise we're gonna have sadness and the pins are not gonna pick up the yarn. Okay, so once I'm done with my first row of casting on, I can start cracking for 4 more rows, and then I can start with my main colors. Okay, so and I'm gonna do this by hand, and then what I like to do, the tail that I started with, I'm gonna put my hand underneath, grab it. I'm not pulling hard, just helping the yarn go down instead of going up and lose my stitches. Okay, and then make sure that you have enough yarn. Okay, so now I can start cranking. Okay, and that's my second row, and then I keep going until I have 5 rows. I always try at least to do 5 rows with waste yarn. And another thing, since I have a little blanket underneath, just to give more contrast to my colors, I need to hold my machine down so it doesn't move much. So if you see me doing that, that's why. Okay, so there's 3 rows, there's 4, and then there's my 5th. Once I get there, I'm gonna cut my yarn. I'm gonna remove it from the passage thing, and then as you can see, it's hooked on my first peg, so I'm just gonna put it on the side. And now I can grab my main color, and I always like to start from the middle. And then I'm gonna make sure I have, I get enough yarn out of it. Okay, for my ear warmers, I do 96 rows. Okay, so now that I have the starting point of my yarn, I'm gonna go ahead and hook it on my first peg. And as we said, the end of my waist yarn was this side, and I'm gonna place this one on the other side like so. And then I'm gonna put this on the passage. And then to start, I'm gonna grab my 2 colors like so. Again, I'm gonna put my hand underneath and just gonna grab it to help it to grab the yarn, and then I'm gonna hand crank it for at least 1 row. Okay, and then I make sure that it's grabbing off my yarns, and then now I'm gonna use my screwdriver and my adapter, and what I do, I just put that in there and we're ready to go. And then it might be a little hard to show you how I put it, but you just place it on your machine, and I can make a video more detailed with that, showing you that step, but for now this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so now I'm ready. I'm gonna grab my yarn to help it a little bit. Okay, okay, another thing is when the yarn has these little knots. What I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna remove my adapter really quick, and then I'm just gonna hand crank it until the nut goes through, okay? And then I put it back on my tension holes, and then I can start cranking again. And then I'm going to speed this a little bit. So one thing that I forgot to mention, I'm doing 2 colors. So the total of rows that I do for the hair wrap, like I said at the beginning of the video, is 96 rows. So since I'm doing 2 colors, I'm gonna divide that, which gives me 48. So I need to do 48 rows with this orange color, and then another 48 with the black color. So with these 5 rows that I did with a waist yarn and this, I should have 53 rows. So that's when I'm gonna stop, and then I would change colors. Sorry for that confusion. I completely forgot at the beginning of the video that I was gonna do, you know, change of colors. So I forgot to mention that. So yeah. Okay, I have 52. I'm about to turn 53. Okay, 53. After I'm done with that, I'm gonna cut my yarn, and I'm gonna leave a decent tail. And I'm just gonna place it on the side like I did with the waist yarn. And then now I can get my black color, and then I place it on the other side of my peg, like so. I'm gonna put it on the little canal thing, and then I'm gonna grab the 2 colors and hand crank it for a little bit so I give time for it to get the yarn. Okay, now I can get my screwdriver again and keep going. Okay, and now I'm gonna stop when I reach 101. Once I hit 101, I would change my color to the waist yarn to finish off. So yeah. Okay, I have 100 rows, and I'm gonna finish the last one. Okay, 101. I'm gonna cut my yarn again, and I'm gonna leave a decent tail. I'm gonna put it on the side, and then I'm gonna grab my waist yarn, and I'm going to do another 5 rows. So I'm gonna have in total 106. Okay, I'm gonna place my yarn on the other side of the peg, put the yarn on the canal thing, grab my 2 colors, and hand crank it for a little bit. Okay, now I can grab my screwdriver and stop when I'm 106. So now I'm gonna cut a long tail, and now I can I'm gonna put it on the tension thing, and then just hand crank it. And what is gonna happen is it's just gonna go, and once the end hits the whatever peg, is just gonna remove the whole piece out of the machine. So we do that. So there's my tail, and then once we hit the first peg, it's gonna start removing it. Okay, sometimes you get a little bit, the last one's in there stuck. Okay, I can remove my machine now. And this is what we have. Okay, here is where I change my colors. So I'm gonna go in the inside, and then I'm gonna grab my 2 yarns and I'm gonna kind of tie it a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna make sure it looks fine on the, now you can like barely see where the change color was. So now I'm gonna knot it 3 times just to make sure that it's not gonna come undone. And then I'm gonna cut, and I'm gonna make sure to not cut too close to it. Okay, now we can turn it the right side, and then I'm going to uncurl it and then grab the side and the other side, and I'm just going to stretch it. Okay, so now where we started, I'm gonna line it up on the side like so, and I'm gonna make sure that my whole piece lines up like that. Okay, we have the other side right here, and it does. And now we can start to sew it together to close the sides. And I think I'm gonna show you how to close the orange side since it's more visible, and the black you can barely see. So I'm gonna close this, and you're gonna repeat the same thing to the other side. So I'm gonna turn it like this, make sure that my tails are here on the folded side. I'm gonna grab my crochet hook, and then this is where the waist yarn comes in handy, because you can see where my orange stitches are. Okay, so when we fold it, we're gonna have these 2 stitches right here. So I'm gonna grab the first one, and then I'm gonna go to the next one, insert my hook like so, and I'm just gonna slip stitch. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my second one and then go to the other side and just, oh, okay, back up. So I grab the side and then slip stitch, and then go to the other side and slip stitch, and we keep doing that until we get to the end. Whoop, slip stitch, and then the other one. Okay, yeah, so we keep doing this, and I'm gonna speed this up a little bit for you, because this is, in my opinion, what it takes the longer. Yeah, so in my opinion, it takes longer than the, to make that actual knitting part. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this and then I'll be right back. Okay, once you get to the end with the tail, we're just gonna pass it through the loop and tie. And then now to remove this, if you pull it, you can see where the yarn is. So we need to go and grab it and just unloop it from all those, and you just have to do that once, and then it will come undone completely. So we remove it from the first row of loops. Whoop. Okay, and you can see here's that one more loop. Once you do that, it's gonna completely come undone. So I'm gonna save this waist train for another project, but once you get it out of the first row, you just pull and everything is gonna come undone, like so. This is really satisfying to do, by the way. And then if it starts getting knotted in there, just go and grab the tail of your main collar. And this one. And then just pull. And then it comes right off. If you missed any stitches, you're gonna be able to tell right away because they're gonna be sticking out in there. So I just noticed this. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but when I started my project as the rest, you can see that it's different orange colors. Well, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing for this side, and then I come back. Okay, I mentioned earlier that if you miss a stitch, you will be able to tell right away. Well, that happened on this on the black side. So I apologize if you can barely see, but here's the stitch that I missed. So what I do, I undo the last little stitch that I did there, and then I put my hook on the loop and then grab the loop that I skipped and then slip stitch, and then I grab my tail again and I tie it. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab two sides and kind of do this, divide them in the middle, both sides. Okay, now I'm going to place this side in the middle of this, like so, and then I'm gonna put the other side like this. And then I'm always gonna make sure that the tail that I'm gonna use to sew them together is in one of the sides. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab my tail and my needle. Okay, gonna grab make sure that everything is lined up. Okay, and then I'm gonna go through the top stitches only. So since this one is already attached to the side, I'm gonna go ahead on the orange and then grab the black and then go through the orange again. Okay, and then I'm gonna kind of loop it around like so. So I'm gonna go to the next stitch, and then the next one, the next one, and the next one, and pull, and repeat until I get to the end. Okay, and then pull as you go. Okay, sorry, the black is a little hard to see the stitches. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up, and then once I get to the end, I come back. Okay, now that I got to the end, I'm gonna make sure that I did get everything there on the side, and I think I missed one in there, so I'm gonna go back and get it. Okay, now I don't like to make the knots here on the edge because sometimes you can see them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass my tail through the middle, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. Okay, I'm gonna pass it through the middle. Okay, now that they are together, I'm gonna pull a little bit, not much, so it doesn't curl. And then I'm gonna tie 3 knots. Okay, now we're gonna grab our needle again, and we're gonna hide these tails. And since our ear warmer is double layered, we can hide the threads in the middle. So I'm just gonna go through one stitch, and then with my finger touching the other side, I'm gonna make sure that it's not showing like so. So just make sure that needle is not going through the second layer. Okay, once we put it in the middle, I'm just gonna grab the needle like so, and then pull, and then cut my yarn and just pull it a little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna repeat the same thing with the orange. Okay, now I don't have any tails, and then now we flipped. And we have our ear warmer. And here we are. This is the end of the video. I hope it was easy enough to follow. If I didn't explain something, just leave it on the comments. Yeah, the questions that you have. If someone in here is interested on me making this type of videos in Spanish, please leave some comments in there. So yeah, this is it. I hope you liked it, and please don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, bye.